You are live on internet.
Hi, internet. How you doing?
Hey, guys.
Has anybody was waiting to jump on?
Somebody already there on
Love it.
YouTube.
Excellent.
Look
Hello,
at that.
everyone.
It's sure, Billy. We go again. Real talk. Is Villa in trouble without Rashford for the run in Europe? Yeah, I think Rashford's done, y'all.
Yeah.
Why?
Injured.
Yeah, he got in. He didn't start the semifinal match. Had picked up a quote knock right before the match, and then I haven't heard anything since.
So you think he just refused to play?
Don't know. Don't know if it's a real injury. Don't know anything. Because he wasn't starting, so maybe he got pouty, and because it was Watkins starting and not him. So I really don't know.
Nope. And I have not had brain space or time to look into it.
Oh no, somebody got a lot of flower stuff to do.
Sure, Billy says he is out for the season. Hammy.
Oh, okay. Same thing. Tark out for the season. With the
Yeah. I mean, there's only 3 weeks left.
4 weeks.
4 weeks left. Yeah, you're right. 34. Yeah.
Is a hammy what you have in the fridge to go home?
Yeah, that's what I have.
I do.
I would like to snack on some hammy.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
And my tummy would be full of hammy.
Perfect opportunity to unzip your pants.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. We ready to start a show, kids?
Your words, not mine.
Just the rest of the hammy, breast hammy. I'm still trying to make that work. It's not happening. Oh, we're doing a show
Could have also gotten the Rammy.
in Miami. Eggs, bacon, grand slammy. So good you could slap your mammy.
God, fucking Graham over there choking and shit. Can we do a fucking show, people? Be fucking professionals. Come on.
Sure, Billy wants to know what's the count.
Hey, listen, don't talk to us like we're
2.
Tammy.
Down to 2. He talked about that on Soundcheck.
Yeah, it's the second time he did it with his handy.
Hi, this is Russ Benson. I am a Liverpool supporter, and you're listening to Drunkard United Football Show. You all need Jesus.
One would say he needs to do it 2 more times with his handy if you were going to keep the
That's right.
little rhyme going there.
Yeah, until it's done, it's been multiple times with my handy.
Yeah, I imagine at the end of this weekend you were just like, no, I don't have it in me.
It's still in me.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Sam Houston? Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy. Sam Graham. Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by 2 common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, with multiple properties and rubbing his brisket with Wagyu tallow, the man of luxury, Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing over there, buddy?
Wagyu tallow's $34 for a pound tub. Maybe bigger than that. That lasts me a year on Amazon.
Okay.
The one property was because my wife bought it, and we got lucky during COVID. The second property was because we both worked really hard our whole lives and were able to afford that one. The newest property I only own a quarter of, and it's because my dad's dead. So thanks for that.
No problem. So what you're talking about is generational wealth. That's what that's
Yeah,
going on.
generational wealth.
That's the world you live
If
in.
you fucking knew me, brother.
Imagine the world.
Don't let these people think that.
Imagine the world you would live in if you just wore a condom from time to time.
you-
We're recorded at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your pods. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night should you want to chat with us or just air grievances in general. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
I deal with a lot of shit on this show. The one thing I refuse anybody to fucking tell me is that I'm posh. Fuck you, brother. Okay?
Yeah, well,
I'm not letting it go.
You're the
Yeah.
guy that's got 2 more Wagyu talos left.
Yeah. And then it just becomes Angus.
Fucking brilliant.
Better than aged.
Yeah, when after the 2 happens, Robert F. Kennedy's FDA inspected it. Right? It's not as good. Uh-oh. What am I doing?
The call to action.
At DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
What a professional.
You know what? Calling me posh threw me off. I don't fucking like that shit.
All
And
right.
you know I don't like that shit. I work really goddamn hard for
you're
this.
a PG County man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
You
fucking.
only have a live-in nanny, and your wife loves her Peloton.
Both Pelotons.
Oh, by the way, everybody.
Oh, there's 2 Pelotons.
There's the treadmill now. We bought off Rob for half price.
Yep,
Producer Mel on the ones and
Yes.
twos also. How you doing over there, Producer Mel?
I'm fine.
Yeah, very good. Just fine.
Yep, freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
That would typically be you on a regular day. We call that Wednesday. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, all good things must come to an end.
Yep.
But at least it's numero uno for Whiskey Advocate's top 20 of 2024. What are we drinking tonight?
We're drinking the finest Cristal champagne because you're on cribs, bitches. Let's go to my houses. Just kidding.
I mean, that's what you buy. I know what's up with you. I thought it was Ace of Spades you buy.
Remember that? You know what? You know what Pam's have in a fridge? You remember cribs back in the day?
Yep.
And it's just every wrapper. It was just a full fridge door of Cristal. Loved it.
Which is the sad part is the truth of you and me would be
We would do that.
no, we would do the fucking what was the stupid Carpaccio give you AIDS.
Capriccio, yeah,
give you
Capriccio.
AIDS, motherfucker. That's what we do. We just drink fucking Capriccio,
Yeah, exactly.
crappy ass sangria because we're trash people.
We like Buckfast. Don't
Yeah.
forget that. All right, the number 1 whiskey of the year, as told by Whiskey Advocate, is the Lafroig Elements 2.0 cask strength. This comes to you at 59.6% by volume. And if you are keeping track, that is 119.2, excuse me. I can't do math. That would be run you about 165 on the shelf. Obviously, with the number 1 distinction, you're probably going to pay a little bit more. And I'm sure at cask strength, this is relatively limited to say the least. The panel rated it a 95. It is a single malt Scotch whiskey, obviously from Islay. Everybody knows Lafroig. David Fleming had the honor of writing up the blurb for the number 1 whiskey of the year by Whiskey Advocate in their top 20 of 2024. Excuse me. And this is what he had to say about it. When discussing a whiskey's flavor these days, often the talk is about the cask, which exotic oak spices or which far-flung wine, spirits, or beer barrel has been used in its creation. For Scotch in particular, it's a long tradition that flavors are engineered through cask finishing and other maturation techniques. But Lafroig Distillery decided to stand that conversation on its head. With its Elements series, the mission is to explore how whiskey's flavor can be influenced not at the finish, but at the start, before it even enters the casks. The second release in the Elements series focuses on where the magic truly begins, fermentation, dialing up the fermenting period to nearly 5 full days, twice its normal length. Longer fermentation brings out more fruit notes in whiskey, which sounds deliciously appealing, but it was a tricky balancing act for the distilling team. The desire to do something different and perhaps even appeal to non-peat lovers runs up against the risk of compromising that famous smoky Laphroaig profile and alienating the wider fan base. But Elements 2.0 pulls it off with consummate skill. The signature Laphroaig smoky, maritime, and medicinal notes are all very present, which they are. But there's mainly a lasting impression of gentle balance with fruit flavors of baked peach. Get that for sure. Orange, I'd call it more orange rind.
Yeah, definitely.
But maybe the white piff. What's it called? The white stuff in orange.
I know what you're talking about. But I don't know what
like
it's called.
between the skin and the rind.
The membrane that you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe that. Actually, a little bit more of that sort of a flavor. Anyway, green apple, pear, and apricot, as well as creme brulee sweetness. It is a little bit sweet as well. All wrapped in maritime salinity and peat smoke. Again, those are very present. This cask-strength whiskey offers harmony and power, carrying its nearly 60% ABV impressively. True to the mission, Elements 2.0 has no cask finishing, but is aged entirely in first fill bourbon barrels. There's plenty of X factor here, but in the end, it all came down to the flavor, and our panel reached broad consensus in making it our 2024 whiskey of the year.
It 1,000% deserves to be number one. This whiskey
phenomenal.
is fucking stellar. And, Mr. Graham, you had said typically hard to find. I am still seeing this on the shelves.
Are you?
It is not impossible.
Okay.
I'm, as been documented before, I'll fuck with an Isla whiskey, but it's a very distinct time for me. Like
Yeah, same.
Really
gotta be
cold,
cold.
snow on the ground, cigar in my mouth, standing at like that's typically when I like these style of whiskeys. Fuck me, this is it's fabulous.
Very good.
It's absolutely fabulous. I love the idea of we're not going to do anything to the finish. We're going to mess with how we do fermentation and the you know, because this is always the big thing with them. It's always brand new. I mean, it's always used American white oak, right? And just wow, it doesn't drink as hot as the proof would say it does.
No.
And this is
The first sip did. Once my tongue acclimatized, that second sip there was way better. And now the salinity stands out a little bit more to me now, actually.
Producer Mel, you are a big peat girl. What do you think?
I love the depth that this has. It's not just mud. It's mud and earth and herb and flavor and salt and water and everything you like in this style of scotch.
Yeah, you know what? I give you it is bloody fucking exceptional. It is.
And I'm having it over the ice now, and over the ice opens it up so much more.
Nice.
Yeah, I've had it both ways. I would agree. Ice
I just
really
poured it
opens
on
up.
ice. I needed to give it a second before it.
Over the ice, you get a little bit more of the sweetness that comes through that I was not expecting. I like it.
This is, dare I say, the epitome of an Isla whiskey. This is of what a classic Isla should taste like. This is what it is.
I normally get a little bit more, I don't want to say sour, but like bitter, like a lemon and lemon peel off an Isla. Once you get past the iodine and Band-Aid, I normally find lots of citrus notes in Islas. So I'm anxious to see, this has a second here in the ice, to see how it changed here.
It is very, very good. And have to say as a whole, aside with our feelings of too many rare whiskeys, kind of too many very overly priced whiskeys, but also I think we're reaching a point now too that this is the price point that whiskeys are going to start.
It's like a candied peach.
Yeah. But top to bottom, this was a stellar list this year.
Yeah, it was.
It was very
happy with the year.
Very, very, very good list. There's been some misses the past couple of years. Some real big misses the past couple of years.
There's been some that we haven't been super pleased with. That's fair to say.
And this top to bottom has been quite fucking good. Really, really happy with it.
I think in honor of the number one whiskey tonight, we should suspend all Malort.
No, sorry, hon. We're going to be doing that. And Mr. Graham, what else should we always do?
Always remember to drink responsibly.
Oh, hey, cheers, kids.
Sorry, there's a lot of chatter going on in the chats. There's already a meme up. There may be a second meme up. I haven't just figured it out yet.
I was about to say, Taylor, eye contact right here, buddy. You and I, you're a bloody fucking genius. Bloody fucking genius.
Fucking idiot.
I
just got it.
A champion has been crowned, and the most top flight titles is now shared with bitter rivals. Liverpool 5, Tottenham 1. Despite Spurs scoring the first goal in the opening, 11 minutes, it was never in doubt, and this was an absolute fucking rout. I mean, Liverpool dominated this fucking match.
Yeah, and the main, all you need to know really is the main string puller for Tottenham was substituted at halftime. He was that ineffective. I had a 13-leg real money parlay on this game, and the only thing that missed was James Maddison to have a shot.
He had an assist.
Not even on target.
Just a shot.
Just a shot. 13 legs, and it hit $15 to pay $155. I was that confident.
Wow.
That this game was going to have it all. And just a shot, just a toe poke towards
the goal.
Allison.
Yeah.
Couldn't even muster that. So obviously their Europa League semifinal training session didn't go very well.
No, not at all.
They scored and thought that'll be enough to beat Frankfurt, and then they just completely switched off. Completely switched off and completely shit the bed. I mean, Liverpool, to their credit, you do have to give them the praise for it. They could have fallen into the trap and lollygagged their way to a 2-1 win, and they still would have won. Absolutely still would have won.
Oh, God, yeah.
But they could have just cruised to a 2-1 win, instead of absolutely dominating. And they chose the latter option. They
manhandled
to
them,
the
dude.
point.
They manhandled them.
So that was Alexis McAllister's first left-footed goal for the club. The way they were bigging it up sounded like it was his first in his career, but I couldn't find that verified anywhere. So I'm going to go safe and just say it's his first left-footed goal for the club.
It was a fucking
It was a peach, wasn't it? It was an absolute peach. To the point you could tell they were feeding Mo Salah. He should get to score today. He signed his new deal. He's our best player. We should. 4 or 5 times people passed up opportunities to get Salah the ball to try and score, and Spurs still couldn't stop it. At what point? I'm not. You know what? I'm going to look it up because it pisses me off enough that nobody has respect for themselves. This would have been yesterday, correct? Here we go. I don't see any Tottenham yellow cards. Do you? Richarlison, when he got mad in stoppage time, when he was a cunt to Harvey Elliott for no reason.
Right.
Well, Harvey Elliott did try to nutmeg him.
Well,
but
Richarlison was a cunt to him for a very specific reason. He used to be a blue.
Yeah.
He probably just went, I wish Big Ange hadn't even put me on the field for this one, subbed me in late, so now I'm just going to have to get a yellow card and kick a red.
Yeah, so he was just being a dick, of course. And Harvey Elliott also saw a yellow card for that. But where's the rest of the Spurs team? Have some respect for yourself.
We talked about this last week. Richarlison was the only one who even seemed to fucking care in the Forest loss.
You know my feelings on this. Hit somebody.
Yeah.
Go hit somebody and then yell at your team to get them back operating correctly. And they just aren't doing it.
Get them going. Just get them going.
They just don't care.
Their defense was so fucking woeful. And the way things are going, you know what the current rumor is? And this would be the Spursiest thing ever. That even if they win Europa, that Big Ange plans on walking away at the end of the season.
Good.
Not even getting fired. Like, how fucking fitting would it be?
Good for him.
That he wins them a fucking trophy, gets them into Champions League despite being 16th or 17th place, and then goes, you know what? Fuck the lot of ya, and walks away.
Yeah, good. Fuck him.
And goes, fuck you, I got my trophy in 2 years, bitch, and just leaves. That would be the Spursiest fucking thing ever.
He should. He absolutely should, because they've fucked him off how many times this season?
Oh my God!
Just as a club, really, the fan base even, and most of them for a long time haven't really gotten on his back. It's been more about getting on Levy, right? And his bullshit.
Yep.
Well, over the last few years, 5 or 7 years or something, I read something that Spurs actually have one of the highest net spends.
No shit.
They just buy the wrong people and then fire the manager and then give that guy a window to do. And so it's this kind of a little bit until now. It was a little bit of a better quality of what Everton did in the year of the 10.
Right.
When that 3 windows in a row were overseen by 3 different managers. And they ended up with this weird amalgamation of players on way too many wages,
and then they couldn't get rid of any of them. They couldn't
make it work.
Any money. Yeah, I mean, which ended up ultimately putting them into their violations with PSR. It goes all the way back to that.
Now, I mean, there's Liverpool. Anyone saying they're not deserving champions is full of shit.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was going next, because now the game really means fuck all. It's Liverpool are the champions.
Arsenal did not put them under enough pressure. Manchester City put them under no pressure. Manchester United are lucky to still be in the league. Tottenham are lucky to still be in the league. Chelsea are very, very young with a very, very young manager in his first high-profile job. So Liverpool deserve it. You can only play what's in front of you.
And well, the attitude,
I don't understand this. Oh, well, they wouldn't have won it 2 years ago. Well, it's not 2 years ago.
That's exactly what I was going to get
It's
at.
now.
And mind you, the color I am wearing and the badge that is over my heart, right? And I can say this: they 100% deserve to be the fucking champions.
Yeah.
They deserve it. And anybody wants to go, oh, it's a down year. Fuck off. You know why I say fuck off? Because currently you have one team in the semifinals of the Champions League, another one who made it to the quarters. You have 2 teams in the semifinals of the fucking Europa League, and you have one team that is definitely winning the fucking McRib Cup.
Right.
And even despite the fact that different teams are having up and down seasons and certain players got injured, the rest of the league has proven they can beat anyone at any time. You know who fucking didn't? Liverpool didn't get beat at any time. They lost to City, Forest, and they lost to Fulham. And that is fucking it. That is the only 2 blips on their radar. They were smart enough and good enough to get draws when they weren't at their best.
But you know what it is? It's all United and Tottenham trolls on the internet. Probably some of my lot.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure some of your
well.
lots in there.
But it's the 2 that have been embarrassed going, oh, well, it doesn't count as much. Just trying to diminish,
because we're not in the top 6 this year,
so it doesn't matter. Right? Where Tottenham have already, with 4 games to go, equaled their worst ever loss tally. So you have to give credit where credit's due. In our jobs, we're graded on a curve, right? In a lot of cases, so we're protected if a business manager writes a bad goal.
Right,
we're protected, right? So if the entire division is at 62% and I'm at 64%, that looks like the attainable level of that goal.
Yeah.
So I'm in. I count. I'm good.
Exactly.
And I get a tick mark for that. So if you grade it on a curve, this is the amount of points that was required to win the league. So that's it. They won it. A trophy's a trophy.
Leading goal scorer, Mo Salah, while on a contract year, everybody thought he was going to come back.
That's exactly the other piece. Is they have 3 of their stalwarts, highest profile of players, in Virgil van Dijk, their captain, their best player in Mo Salah, and then the guy who's been at Liverpool since he was 6, all in contract disputes. The club managed to sort out 66% of those issues, and it's not even nailed on he's going to Real Madrid, Trent, yet.
Right.
I guess there's still a possibility they could keep him, but nothing's done and dusted or signed, and nothing's been announced. It's just widely expected that he goes. But they kept this level while 2 of their biggest players, 2 most important players, 3 most important players, have had contract disputes, which could unsettle any team. Look what happened to us and Aubameyang. Granted, we were trying to get back into the Champions League places rather than win the title at that stage. But We fell to 8th or whatever it was that season.
Yeah.
Immediately following his departure, with all of the shit that was surrounding the club and ill feelings in the dressing room and factions amongst the players.
Right.
Like, that's the level we're talking about. And they sorted through all that shit and were able to remain professional and fucking good professional.
And I had mentioned leading goal scorer. Also, by the way, leading assist man, Mo Salah. Like, he is on over 20 goals and damn near close to 20 fucking assists. You can't say he didn't contribute completely. Leading goal scoring team in the league, Liverpool. Oh, and all of this, Sam, while a brand new manager takes over after a generational quote unquote icon of a manager with Jurgen Klopp, and he takes Jurgen Klopp's team that vastly underperformed last season and walks away with the league.
Yep.
Like, it really, after January, it was like, well, Arsenal's got to do something, but it
we
never felt in doubt.
We didn't buy anybody.
It felt inevitable. It felt like that's what was going to fucking happen.
Absolutely.
And they deserve 100% of the credit for doing what they did. You can only go out and play the games that are in front of you. They did it magnificently. And they have a they fucking deserve it. And stop with this, well, if Rodri was healthy. City didn't start the season very fucking well either while they still had Rodri.
No, but
Creators, you no longer need to wait for brand.
But he's not there.
Right.
You have to deal with that.
Right.
All you can blame that on is you didn't have the greatest of seasons. But he went down. There was another window to replace him.
Yeah.
And Nico Gonzalez hasn't exactly pulled up trees since he's been there.
Yeah.
You had, kind of replacements. And if you have the greatest manager of all time at the helm, don't you think you could create a new system that would cover that loss?
You would think.
With the players you have, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And the entitlement that, you should just roll over for us, you got found out for that.
Yeah.
And here's where I'm going to prove that I'm not posh. You got the silver spoon slapped out of your fucking mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
You probably don't wear a belt with pants that have belt loops, and you probably don't wear socks with loafers because you're a cunt. And I just slapped a silver spoon out your mouth.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you would know what a silver spoon looks like, wouldn't you?
No. My children might. I won't. I'll never will.
Oh.
But the congratulations. Well done. You know who deserves the real credit? I'm not sure if it was multiple people going around the shops. I'm not sure if there's a particular vendor that sells these things. I'm not sure how it happened, but you know who needs a tremendous amount of praise is whoever fucking stuck a blue tag sticker over the red tag or sticker on a fair few flares that were being sold in the area.
Lot of blue lighting up the stadium.
And there was, it was outside. Yeah, it was during the celebrations outside. There was a lot of blue you see these red and then these little dots of blue throughout the crowd.
Some of them made him into the stadium, too.
Did they?
Some of them made him into the stadium, too. You hear there's a video of them going, stomp it out, because it was blue. Fucking brilliant.
So I'm not sure what group, what vendor, what person. I'm not sure how this happened, but fucking well done to you. That's a tremendous amount of advance. I love that.
And one final thought, both now Liverpool and their fiercest rivals, Manchester United, are both on 20 top flight titles. The most by far, the closest to one.
Liverpool's 19 3/4. It was a down year.
Yeah.
It doesn't count the same.
Well, now I will say that a lot of those came prior to the start of the Premier League. But the good thing for Liverpool now is, you know what? Hey, you got one more than Blackburn and Leicester. I couldn't shine all the glory on him. I had to fucking give my dig in there somewhere. It is really only one storyline for the rest of the season.
Yep.
And two clubs held serve in the battle for Champions League, while another familiar face is getting hot at the right time. Manchester City 2, Villa 1, Chelsea 1, Everton 0, Newcastle 3, Ipswich 0. City at the death, and Doesn't this feel fucking inevitable?
Yeah,
This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna fucking end up being in third. It's what's gonna happen.
I know we're not gonna talk about the games here. Mm-hmm. But I said this to you about the FA Cup.
Yeah.
It feels like just a boring city march.
Yeah.
To lifting a trophy after the season they've had that they don't deserve. It's annoying. It's just fucking annoying.
It's so fucking annoying.
It sucks. Bernardo Silva scored, obviously, but for me, I think it was a little bit of a mistake from Emmy. If you get both hands to that as a World Cup winner,
got to make that save.
You got to make that save, and you're not far from the post. Like, I'm not sure how you couldn't push it around the post.
He had a bad week of mistakes.
Yeah,
Not the best.
We'll
not
come
the
on
best.
to
We'll come on to the FA Cup ones
during the EFL show. We'll talk about that.
Not the best week for Humper.
For Humper. Who's Eeyore in that team? Or Ehor, since we have Humper.
Barkley.
Well, that'd be Thumper the rabbit. Thanks very much.
I know. I'm naming the other.
Yeah, but Thumper the rabbit was in Bambi.
Yeah,
Thumper was in Bambi. Who's the rabbit in Pooh?
That I don't know.
Jamie Vardy.
I think it was Mr. Rabbit.
He was the rabbit eating poo.
Really think it was Mr. Rabbit.
It might have been Mr. Rabbit.
Yeah,
Damn.
you're definitely mixing your cartoons.
I am. So who's from my own childhood? So who's Bambi then? I know who Bambi is.
Thumper.
I know. Who is Bambi in the team?
I don't know.
Lester. On my team, who's Bambi?
Yes.
Well,
If you've got-
Rashford's injured, so maybe Rashford.
I was going to say Mings because he had the weak knees too.
Oh, damn.
Which cartoon character is the densest? That's fucking Ross Barkley.
Nah, he's fucking Caillou. The rat bastard doesn't listen to his parents. It's so unfortunate because, and also, Villa had chances here, a few times. I think this is the second game of the week, or the first of two games of the week. They can find themselves a little bit hard done. And, it's hard to talk about it without talking about both. They hit the post, what was it, 2 times in the FA Cup.
Yep.
At the time could have changed the game. Look at Rashford, right? He scored the penalty, but he had that other one he should have lifted over Ortega. Instead tries to go low, has it saved. That's a huge momentum shift because Villa were starting to press. Villa were starting to turn the screw a little bit. He gets his breakaway, and you're like, oh, fucking, come on. And he goes low, and Ortega's like, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, what you worried about? And this is huge letdown, and Villa couldn't seem to lift themselves after that again. City just kind of then went comfortable on them.
And it was, they had the opportunity, and you kind of just knew that City was going to figure out a way to score at the death. You just knew it. And that game probably deserved to be a draw, but City found a way, and that's what City's been starting to do.
It was a great ball from Doku,
and they're
also
doing it at the right time,
I'm disappointed in the entire Villa backline for that goal, though.
Yeah.
The ball was excellent. It was right on the edge of the corridor of uncertainty closest to the defenders. Mm-hmm. If any of them touch it, probably an own goal. Emmy couldn't come out and get it because it was just too far away from him. And it found Mateus Nunez on the other side. Had a great shape to the ball. It was a great pass, all that stuff. He should have never been in the position to be allowed to play that ball. And Villa's left back is Luca Digne lost track of Mateus Nunez. Mm-hmm. Or the midfielder in front of him didn't track the run properly, depending on who was marking who at that moment. But I found it very annoying as a former defender to look across and see him completely by himself.
And what's interesting there is when we were talking about it last week on injury time, we were like, the benches is going to be the difference, and the advantage on the bench definitely goes to Villa. And it ends up being Pep's moves and Pep subs that end up winning the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you see here also what it means to City. Mm-hmm. I mean, they needed. You saw the release when they scored. I mean, I've never seen Pep so animated, unless he's angry about something. I've never seen him with such jubilation, and that's that's saying something. I mean, they're under a tremendous amount of pressure because of the season they've had to finish in the Champions League spots and rescue some microcosm of respect from it, especially when they have 151 charges hanging over their head or whatever it is, which apparently court is all done for. Weren't we supposed to get an announcement in the middle of March?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
I think they're waiting to see how the season finishes up. I think that's exactly what the league is doing.
Because they're going to dock them. They're going to amend the decision. They're going to dock them whatever amount of points that keeps them in the Champions League.
Right. Exactly.
But
the
they're
amount
going
of points
to
that keep them in
but
the
they're
Champions
going
League.
to dock them points, and that's going to be
And
it.
they're waiting
So they
to
can
see-
say they punished them.
They're waiting to see if there's a potential with Arsenal winning. Does it become 6 teams in the Champions League, and they dock them just enough points for them to finish in
sixth.
sixth place?
I bet you it's something to do with that.
A final thought here with Villa. This bad week, do we think it affects them, or do we think Emery gets them even more hyper kind of focused and back to, hey, now we have to make the Champions League spot, guys?
So, for me, it's been a bit of an emotional.
Producer Mel didn't realize she was muted and went, "It's been." I almost did it too.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
Never mind. Unai Emery had to prove himself coming back to England when he first took over, and Villa were not in a good way when he first took over. Steven Gerrard was not, seen in a very positive light at the end of his tenure, and Villa looked very disjointed. Unai Emery, obviously at Arsenal, ran out fairly quickly.
Yeah,
out of Arsenal, right? Despite the Europa League final he presided over, is the one final in the Europa League he didn't win when we lost to Chelsea.
right.
So he had some proving to do. The British public was very, well, if you can't do it with them, the fuck makes you think you do it with us?
Right.
With the state we're in at the moment.
He's proven.
He's proven it. It sometimes things just click, right? And I think as long as he still has the dressing room and can keep the spirits high, I think that they will finish in the Champions League positions.
Yeah.
I think that he has the players' respect, but this past 10 days has been a huge letdown.
Yeah, agreed.
The comeback against PSG that almost came to fruition was a lot of energy exerted. You win. You start immediately after a European week. Granted, it was Southampton, but you get that win.
Get the massive win over Newcastle there too,
and then the win over Newcastle and beat the crap out of them. Seemingly sending a statement. And here they played a very good game.
Yeah,
they just got out pepped.
Yeah,
essentially,
it's essentially what it was.
And it's just crushing. You know, and then you finish that week with the FA Cup defeat to Palace. It's just like another letdown. So is he going to be able to pick the players up? I hope so. Mm-hmm. They're an immensely talented team. I like watching them play. They need to be in the Champions League.
Agreed.
I hope he's able to pick them up. It will only be based on their emotion whether or not they make that, in my opinion. If he can get them on song and happy and get this out of their heads until, just kind of compartmentalize until the end of the season, and then go talk to your sports therapists and go talk to your, rid yourself of the guilt, then great. But, if he can't and they're depressed, it could be a bit of a damp squib going into the end of the season here for Villa.
I didn't know it was legal to already start leasing your condo before you had filled out all the appropriate paperwork, because at the first half, the entirety of fucking Everton were at the goddamn beach because they sure as fucking weren't at the bridge playing footy.
Yeah.
That is for damn sure.
Right. It took a while for Everton to get going, let's say, is the polite way to say that.
I would say when Tim Howard on the desk at halftime goes, I know exactly what David Moyes is saying right now. They needed a little bit of a wake up.
But Chelsea looked nervous.
I mean,
they're stuttering to the end of the season here. I mean, they don't look free-flowing at all.
The first half, they looked good, and they really had Everton against the ropes. And to, Everton's defense, Everton wasn't there. They weren't playing at all. They weren't showing any effort. But you have a team that's decided not to show up, be up on them 3-0 at the end of the first half.
Yep.
Like, beating the shit out of them is what they should have been doing, and they didn't. And while, Sanchez had to make a few saves, the game was never really in doubt, but they never really did anything to do,
to push the issue.
Right.
Robert Sanchez had to make better saves than Jordan Pickford did.
Pickford made a couple of big saves in the first half, but the bigger saves were made by Sanchez in the second.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, you're trying to get into Champions League here, boys. Like,
what are you guys doing?
Show a little more.
Show up.
Please show a little more.
And really, the goal came down to Beto dilly-dallying on a relatively ill-advised Jordan Pickford pass.
Yeah.
He got it stripped, obviously, and I can't remember the player that was it Enzo Fernandez that took it off him
and played it to Palmer.
Played a brilliant ball to Palmer,
and Palmer played it to Jackson, and Jackson put a great shot on net.
No, he played it directly.
Oh, that's right.
He played it directly to Nico Jackson,
right in the middle.
Because Everton were still in their offensive. We have the ball trying to play out from the back positioning, which is why Nico Jackson was so open. So the center backs were split.
Yep.
Awaiting Beto to play the ball to them so we can safely move up the field together.
Right.
And instead, he took an extra touch and allowed Enzo Fernandez to steal in. And then nobody could react fast enough to what happened. But I would argue also, Beto doesn't have the greatest first touch in the world. Probably shouldn't be playing it to him with that sort of zip on it in the...
Agreed.
When you have two open center backs either side of Nico Jackson.
Agreed. Now, one thing worth noting, James Tarkowski did not start the match, ending his streak of 111 straight Premier League starts. That record, the record is held by Wayne Bridge at 113.
Fuck off.
Yeah. So
he only
that
missed it by two.
We all know if that hammy doesn't happen, Tark starts all 4 games, plays every minute the rest of the way. He
gets the record.
He breaks it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So unfortunate, but it is what it is.
And you know who's chugging his chicken? Fucking JB.
Yeah,
he fucking
exactly.
hates him.
Oh, very much so. Another red card. And Ipswich are going down. I mean, completely dominant by Newcastle, right? I mean, Newcastle just dominated, but it was like...
Ipswich started spirited.
You're doing it to yourself again, though, with another fucking red card.
They started spirited, but Ben Johnson obviously got a little too froggy. The first one, I think, is harsh, in my opinion. The first one, yellow, I think it is a touch harsh. The second one... you're on a yellow. What the fuck are you doing? Why did you bear hug Alexander Isak in full flight? Makes no sense to me.
And now you go to you go to Everton the next week, and you've got 2 guys suspended, 2 defensive players suspended now, and yeah, you got nothing to play for, but you're at least some pride. Try to get a couple of wins, and you're gonna just putter out. Like,
just doesn't. Yeah,
it's not good.
No, I don't think it is. I also don't think though that they'll lose many players at the end of the season. I think it's going to be maybe Amari Hutchinson and definitely Liam Delap.
Yeah.
Past those 2 guys, I think they have a squad prepared to challenge for the championship again. They may need to strengthen 1 or 2 spots, but I don't see many teams lining up for most of their players.
No.
So they'll do well to stay with the team and come back. Everybody's been... They shouldn't be let off the hook for how poor of a season they've had, Ipswich. But everyone is rightly focusing on Leicester and
Southampton
and Southampton.
So fucking terrible.
2 reasons. They've both recently been in the Premier League, but also got to remember, Ipswich, without the most investment in the world, Ipswich have been promoted 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
So they kind of skipped the part of we're a championship club for 2 years and we overspend and then we go up. They ditched that part. So this is essentially a squad of like very, very talented League One players. And rightly, people aren't bashing them.
Yeah, they're playing with house money, man. They were playing
Right.
they were everybody figured them 20th spot on.
And that speaks to how good Kieran McKenna is because he's outshined two teams with recent Premier League experience, with recent Premier League players still in their squads, and with managers that have managed in the Premier League before.
Yes, exactly.
So I think they're poised, as long as they don't lose too many pieces, they are poised to come straight back up, in my opinion. As long as they strengthen, because they will lose Liam Delap.
Yeah.
They have to get a goal scorer.
Now, yeah, I think they probably keep Sammy Samakis, who was a pretty decent...
Schmadix,
pretty decent string puller.
Weirdly an Irish international.
Exactly. All right, so Mr. Graham, I'm going to lay a question in front of you, but I'm also, before I allow you to answer that, we're going to do a little Houston
household
Malort together. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
And I poured mine a little heavier above the horseshoe tail there because of Liverpool.
Seahorse tail?
Well, seahorse. Because
Seahorse sea hell?
Yeah, because of Liverpool winning, I feel like I need to do a little extra.
Okay.
So here's what I go to you now. 3 spots, 5 teams. Who are going to be the 3 teams that make it to Champions League as we do our shots of Malort? Cheers, Mr.
3
Houston.
spots, 5 teams. Who are going to be the 3 that make it to the Champions League? Let's see. Well, it's
waiting for a moment to cheers, but he wouldn't
let's do it
shut
again.
up.
Do it right now.
There we go.
I believe I was asked a question. So, Forest, it's so fucking... I'm just looking at it. It is so tight.
I haven't had this in a while.
Forest have the game in hand. Obviously, they're going to play midweek, which is why fantasy isn't done yet, that they could pop back up in the third. I would say City. They're going to figure it out. I think Villa still have a very good chance as long as Unai Emery can manage those emotions. I think Chelsea might be the ones that fall away, to be honest with you. They to me, they don't have the scariest of run-ins necessarily, but they've been so poor.
Well,
Their best player has been so poor.
Their next match is Liverpool. They're losing that.
Not necessarily. Liverpool's on the piss right now.
It's true. True. Very, very true. Okay.
Last time they won the title, they lost the next game.
Okay.
And 2 of their front 3 was Muslim when they did that. So they still couldn't work it out. Now they've got a fucking Hungarian in there. He's definitely on a piss. And even the other ones are like, what is he drinking? Because he's Hungarian. I think your top 7 are your top 7, though. I don't think Fulham's making a charge the last few games.
No, Fulham or Brighton. No.
I don't think Unai Emery will allow Villa to drop 6 points. I mean, it's mathematically entirely possible.
Right.
But I don't see that happening. So I think your top 7 is going to be your top 7. I think 7 gets a European spot, because Chelsea will definitely win
but
the McRib Cup.
The key is the 3
So,
Champions League sides. 5 teams, 3
I'm going
Champions
to
Leagues.
I'm going to say it's 4. Oh fuck! I think it's going to be. The problem for me is going to be, is it Forest or Villa? Mm-hmm. It's between Forest and Villa, because I think Newcastle and City are back on it. I think they will finish 3rd and 4th. I think it's going to come between Forest and Villa for that 5th spot. I don't know who to pick.
I was going to say the same thing, and right now I'm going to say Villa, but that could change depending on what happens with Forest this midweek against Brentford. Rounding out the rest of the league, so that happened. Arsenal 2, Palace 2, Brighton 3, West Ham 2, Fulham 2, Southampton 1, Wolves 3, Leicester 0, Bournemouth 1, Manchester United 1. These really don't deserve much talking points. Arsenal and Crystal Palace, a match where neither side apparently wanted to be there. One's worried about Champions League, the other one's worried about the FA Cup.
Yeah, but in good practice for the FA Cup, hit a decent little volley from the edge of the box. Mm-hmm. Now, not as spectacular as Paul Scholes years and years ago, but I can't remember which corner it was taken from. So it was either Beckham or Giggs, but played a corner in the air to Paul Scholes about 20 yards out from goal, and he just caught it clean, top corner, full volley.
Yeah,
the ball was coming in, it was about nipple height, and he got over it and just knocked it right in that corner. Mm-hmm. Ez's was a little less spectacular, just as good technique.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking great to get it down. That bounce for me was kind of a controlled. I'm making sure I keep this down, and it will be on frame. I know it'll be on frame.
Yeah.
So it was a great little hit. But the only thing I really want to bring to the table about this game, two things. First is Jakub Kiwior scored.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's fair that they don't throw up on the big screen little wife celebration when that happens.
That's right, European twerking champion.
Told you about her before. 3 times, I think. Thank you very much. She's lifted that trophy. Don't diminish her accomplishments.
My apologies.
And then that was a fantastic ball by Martin Odegaard, by the way. And then it was really sad. Eddie Nketiah wanted to score so badly against us because he was the one that got sold permanently.
Right.
Reece Nelson went on loan to Fulham. We're going to get him back.
Right.
We sold Nketiah.
Yeah.
And he wanted to prove us wrong so badly. And he was just trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
We gave him chances. But he played the occasion and not the game.
Yeah.
And let it get to him. And I felt so bad for him that he couldn't. It looked sad. It's just like, man, just relax. Take a deep breath. You know how to do this. You did it for us. But he wanted to prove it so bad. And that's just annoying. And then fucking William Saliba. I'm glad he got it out now because he did the same thing against Madrid at the Bernabeu. Obviously, the one goal that they scored, he just kind of malfunctioned for a second because he's been the steadiest of defenders in the world, really.
Agreed.
Virgil van Dijk-esque over, in Liverpool's 94-point season where they came in second. Saliba this season, and really last, has been that sort of statuesque, never looks like he's breaking a sweat. He's always in the right position. He reads the game beautifully, and everything just looks comfortable. He had that stupid, weird turn against Vinicius in Madrid. He did essentially the same thing. He played a 1-2 with Kiwior 6 yards apart, but the second bit, he passed it straight to Eza.
Yeah.
Or Sar, whoever it was, and they gave it to Mateta, and he just absolutely banged one.
Yep.
Before Raya was set. So I don't know what that is, but I'm glad he got it out now. And against PSG, he can just perform well.
Yeah, agreed. Probably the most entertaining match of the weekend was the Seagulls and the Irons. But the Irons give it away fucking late.
Bro. First off, what a strike from Ayari.
Oh, what a fucking goal.
And then the first half was over.
Yeah.
Nothing else happened in the first half.
Nothing.
The first half was absolute dog shit. Made me want to claw my eyes out. 2 minutes and change into the second half, though, Brighton switched off for a second and allowed Bowen, of all people, in behind. Superb cutback, saw Kudus finish into the bottom quarter. Absolutely fantastic goal for me. It was a perfect cutback. Kudus, great finish, and that's a guy that needed a fucking goal. Badly. We saw last season how excellent he was. This season, I think, again, kind of just looking at some of the performances, looking at the way the managers over the season have used him, and then turning around and getting that ban against Arsenal, that red card. You got to think, like, this dude's just frustrated. Like, things just aren't going his way, and he just lashed out. That puts that incident in so much more context.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And then finally this goal was like all that release. It's like finally the weight's off my shoulders.
And then they fuck it right off in, a matter of 2 minutes, right at the end of the match?
Yeah. I think it was, I wrote it down, 89th and 92nd.
Yeah.
Were the goals. First, Matoma, and that goes underrated. Nobody said it, how brave that finish was. That goalkeeper's flying.
Oh, God, yeah.
Out of there. And he diving header. And if you watch the replay again, if you watch the highlights again and see the replay of this goal, the second he makes contact with that ball, his arms start covering his head.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's worried about the goalkeeper's knees,
was going to get clocked.
elbows. Yeah,
he was going to get clocked.
He knew he was getting clocked. So it's just an excellent finish. But again, it shouldn't be getting to that point. But West Ham be West Hamming.
Yeah, this is the second week in a row where they messed up near the end, where they
we can't name it that. Don't even write it down. It's Liverpool's show.
She liked that one. She really liked
I know
that
she
one.
I don't think I wrote down a Liverpool title.
Well, they won one.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
One more than Blackburn and Leicester.
She produced a softball right down the middle.
Right down the
that
middle.
I
for
could
you
knock
to
out of the park.
just whack it.
What? 2 more times.
That's the show title. Whack it.
Whack it. ...
2 more times.
And then, holy fuck, I'm a believer.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
What a goal. Yep, and that's it.
What a goal that was.
It does feel like...
You see, Areola's like, why did nobody step to him? That ball's coming at me. I can see the ball's... Oh, fuck.
Goal. Oh, fuck.
And then he stands up and he looks like Pickford the way he's yelling at the defense.
This included with the team we're about to come on to, but Brighton looking like they're interested in 8th place. And 8th place, like we've said, might get you into the McRib the way things are going, you know, with that, without, as long as
Chelsea could figure out their shit, and United and Tottenham don't fuck off their semifinal.
Right. Because if one of them win it, then suddenly there's more spots open.
It goes down. Yep.
Then if Arsenal win, then there's more spots.
Ninth, yeah.
And then there are only 3 clubs, and 2 of those clubs may be the same club that want only City to win. That is, City fans want them to win the FA Cup. Brighton fans want them to win the FA Cup, and whoever's going to be 8th place, who could be Brighton, wants City to win the FA Cup.
Correct.
Because that spot now, as
Could
long
open
as
up
it's
for that,
not
yeah.
Palace, could open up to that. The Saints almost escape the daunting history that they're going towards right now until Fulham went, oh, shit, wait, we're Fulham and they're Southampton and we're a whole lot fucking better than them, so let's go ahead and win this game. And score 2 in the second half and end up winning 2-1.
Yeah, I'm more annoyed with Marco Silva again.
Yeah.
It took Fulham till the 72nd minute to score against the shittest football team on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, we're seeing, well, they've got a chance still at European football.
Mm-hmm.
Well, had until, not this one, I think it was last week, really, in my opinion. Because I just told you that 7 now are going to be the 7.
Right. So
but this
but 8th is there, and 8th could
potentially.
be. So
but here's
between Brighton and Fulham.
But
That's
here's the
where it
problem: is this is the type of game, and it took him until the 72nd minute to rectify it. But this is the type of game we've been talking about all season. It's not an occasion, so who fucking cares?
Right. Yep.
And they played that way for the first 65 minutes. They finally woke up and started to really do something. But Bert Leno still had to make a couple of saves.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, but Smith Rowe, and then Sessegnon with the glancing header. I'm really liking his even though he played for Tottenham at one stage. I'm really liking his renaissance.
Yeah.
As a player, because he started at Fulham.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching him play. He was left wing back. He was flying up and down. He was young. Went to Spurs, got hurt, and then couldn't really force his way back in the team ever. And then finally just gets a return home and gets out of that hellhole. At Tottenham, and he's been having this fantastic resurgence. I'm really happy for him.
I'm gonna wait to save my thoughts with the Saints and their record because their last chance comes this week, I think, and we'll talk about that on Injury Time. And should somebody want to find Injury Time, Mr. Graham, how do they go about doing that?
It's very easily, actually. It's patreon.com/DFootball Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier, and you get all of our extra content. If you sign up to the $7.50 TT tier, you get to have an opinion.
Don't look now. Wolves are on a roll and are in 13th fucking place.
Yeah, no lie. That's pretty crazy. Although, so you know what? Well done. You rectified your situation. Vitor Pereira, here's a pint for you. Good work, my friend. Problem, though, I am just angry at Wolves.
Okay.
Jose Sa, who has been getting bukaked all season long, decides to save a penalty for a club legend, a proper shithouse who we all love and adore.
I was going to get to that. And what's important about that, about him saving that penalty against Jamie Vardy?
What?
You told me this weekend.
Oh yeah, no. So the point is, he's on 198 goals for Leicester, and he's leaving.
Yeah,
at the end of the season,
going to be on 199.
Just get
4 games left.
Well, I've got a part of that in my bet.
Oh, very good. That would make sense, definitely.
Yeah. Because Leicester plays Southampton at the weekend, so get ready for that at the end of the show.
So, as we know, Jamie Vardy has said he is going to be leaving the club at the end of the season. Tug on everybody's heartstrings. I hope
nutsack.
I hope he comes to the MLS. I am so going to the DC United game when he plays. If he plays for anybody, oh my God, I have to be there.
I hope he plays for DC United, and me and Mel can watch Real Housewives of the Potomac and see Rebecca on there.
Ah, that's right. That would be.
Let's get an iPhone thrown in the Potomac.
Fucking brilliant.
Come on.
And
we got to get Wayne back, though.
Yeah. Oh, that would be even better.
We got to get Wayne Rooney back.
Have both of them.
Same team.
Oh, my God.
So Colleen and Rebecca have to spend the most time together.
Oh, it'd be so fucking brilliant.
I'll call Bravo. You call the Premier League or the MLS.
Let's make this happen.
Oh,
Come on.
TLC can make it work. We could do a K1 under Donnie Boy version too. That'd be sweet.
Now, the other player that has announced that they will be moving on from the club at the end of the year, and I know this is going to bring a great bit of sorrow to you, Mr. Graham. One Mr. Voutface has said.
Oh, darn.
Yeah. One may say he left the club a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no shit.
He just happens to be on the field.
Who's he gonna go play for? Fucking Lincoln City?
I don't
that's
know.
That's the level he belongs at.
He's not going to be there.
I don't know why I'm picking on Lincoln City fans. I apologize.
No. And here is the final thing I have for you, and I want to talk about this very briefly. Is this got passed over? We didn't talk about it last week, and I want to talk about it today. I hope you are going to be very glad to know, as we have discussed, the 115 charges already been to court. Not a single leak or word or anything about Manchester
what's
City.
happening. Yeah.
But last week, the Prem has fixed the one tricky loophole in PSR. Being relegated is no longer a get out of jail free card, because remember, Leicester came up and the auditors had found they were not in violation and should not receive any points deduction because they had been relegated. And the Prem, the stand up, making sure that the integrity of the Football League still stands. You know what? They made sure they got rid of that loophole.
Because you shouldn't be able to hide in the shadows.
Ooh, sounds very, we're going to send everybody's college debt to fucking collections. But millionaires, billionaires, don't have to pay your taxes. You're all right.
Yeah.
But you know what? They'll get those pesky foxes if they fuck up on PSR again. That's goddamn right. Sell a couple hotels to yourself? Yeah,
fine.
No problem.
Don't worry about it.
Sell your own women's club to yourself? Yeah, okay. That's perfectly fine.
If I could sell my own women's club to me, I'd get them two done faster.
But fuck you if you get relegated, Mr. Graham. That is a bridge too fucking far. You've lost too much money. We're going to fuck you.
We're coming after you.
How do you, I mean, what the... Like, that's the loophole. And that's how they phrased it. We fixed the loophole was the exact words they used.
It's all right. I'm going to phrase it like this. They passed the buck so well that it rivaled how good Pablo Sarabia's pass was for the third goal. Because that was a peach of a fucking pass.
Look at you working it in
I
there.
had to wrestle it back in. Before I just did the weird stop. I forgot to say this, which I do a lot.
You did it magnificently. That
Thank
was
you very
well
much.
done. Oh yeah, and by the way,
your boy Strand Larson.
Yeah, scored.
What? Yeah, but before that, what happened?
Good.
He used his lob wedge
Yeah, he did.
as a putter.
Yeah, he did. One very good.
He is lucky it was called off.
Yeah, very lucky it was.
It was so bad. I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, "The fuck that? What was that?"
pretty bad.
He laid down and was laughing at himself.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I think
pretty
he gave the linesman a thumbs up.
And you know what else?
Number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. Bournemouth and United drew 1-1, and when Hoyland and United scored that goal, you'd have thought they just won the fucking league. But
what a brilliant goal.
But they didn't. Liverpool did.
Sure money.
Fucking nice.
That game got exactly the amount of coverage it deserved.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It did. It did. It's just a shame that I wish intent was part of card decisions. Because he didn't mean to do that.
No, he didn't.
All right, I'm fucked, dude. I'm trying to avoid talking about it. That's the only reason I kept going. I'm down 3,200. I've lost every single bet this season.
Yes, you have.
And I tried to almost lose everything I could this week. I didn't.
yeah.
I won one leg.
Yeah, one leg. Yeah, I actually texted you in the middle of the week and said, "Are you actively trying to lose every fucking leg of your bet?"
That's pitiful.
2 more legs to go.
Now, saw what she did there. That was good.
What do they do?
Yes, exactly.
This pen sucks.
But
I missed.
Damn it.
I missed my
did
bet
it with your mouth.
because of that.
Tell that to Carly all the time.
Goddamn Sarabia pass. If Sarabia doesn't make that peach of a pass in extra time, I hit my bet because
That pass was brilliant, though.
Yeah, well, it was.
It was worth losing $100.
But I was under 2.5, so I am at plus 603.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Graham, I know you love it when this happens. Round number.
Yeah.
25% of the time.
There you go.
Dude,
It
that's
works
a quarter.
100% of the time.
That's a quarter. That's incredible.
I gotta Doug, you know what? Fuck this. I kick your ass all the time. I'm done. I'm done betting for the rest of the season. I'm gonna go ahead and tag in my proxy.
Taylor, are you there?
Hi, Sam. What kind of idiot am I again, Granny?
He will be doing the rest of my bets for the remainder of the year. Thank you very much. I can't be bothered with your pathetic ass.
And just a reminder, he is up $603.
Yes, I am.
Big Sam's Proxies Lock of the Week.
I think that was an actual shotgun.
He does live in Kansas. No, he just shucked some corn.
All right, Taylor.
All right, boys.
What are
I
you
got
betting for me
3 legs.
this week?
You've got a 3-leg parlay this week.
Okay.
I'm going with 2 home teams that should be motivated to win. Go ahead and give me Forest to beat Brentford on Thursday.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me Villa to beat Fulham on Saturday. Third leg, I'm going with Leicester scoring the first half against Southampton.
Oh, at home.
Okay.
That's going to probably give it some odds.
Because I think they're going to feed Vardy, try to get him to that number. And they just were unlucky last week that they're playing a massive club like Wolverhampton. They are
This
above
is
the
what
table.
happens when you let him have
Tottenham.
opinions.
Hey, you know what? There's $250, totally worth it. But here's what I mean. I'm also putting a shot of Malort, a personal side shot of Malort, that they're going to do it in the first 11 minutes.
Ooh, okay.
Here's why.
But the
If 11 minutes
bet,
to make-
to be clear, the bet's only in the first half.
A goal in the first half.
Correct. All right. I just
And
want to make sure
I'm
everybody's
saying the
aware.
first 11 minutes. Yep.
Why do you say first
if-
11 minutes?
Well, if 11 minutes in space makes you an astronaut, and 11 minutes in the bedroom make me a porn star, then I think 11 minutes is just enough time to prove that Southampton is the worst team in the history of the Premier League.
Okay, I like that.
Fair dues.
Very
So,
good. Very, very
That
good.
is going to be plus 597, which means that after this weekend, after Saturday, Big Sam's going to be up an additional $697.37.
See, there you go. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. We'll see.
And that is going to be the remaining 3 shows. It's going to be Taylor taking care of my bets because I just cannot be bothered with you. You suck. So why should I face you anymore?
Can't wait. You can't sense my enthusiasm.
Oh, we can sense your enthusiasm.
Taylor, man, it's good to hear from you. How you been doing? Thank you very much. Expertly done that.
Yeah. All right.
Found it.
Yeah, I saw the looks and I was like, here it comes.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
All right.
Graham was about to go.
So how's it going in your
It
world?
would have been better if you had said that.
That's true.
It would
Fair
have been
dues.
way better if you said that.
Fair dues. I essentially did, just not after golf.
Yeah.
That's when Pat said that. All right. So what I've got, I didn't even count them.
9-way parlay.
6.
I always love I hit the 9-way parlay and then you hear him murmuring the amount of counting, like he's using an abacus, got 10 fingers. 10
Yeah.
toes,
Well, I
counting
didn't
all
write
out.
it. I didn't write it each line this time, so I didn't want to burn a third piece of paper for this.
Heard. Very good.
Because I'm down so much money, I don't even care. Forest or draw with Brentford. Obviously, also an emotional week for them. I think there is the possibility they may be a little stunted in front of goal for that reason.
Don't disagree.
So I threw the draw in just in case, but I think it will be a positive result in the sense that they won't lose against Brentford for sure. City to beat Wolves, they're going to try to solidify the position they're in and lock up the Champions League as soon as possible. They're playing a lot better, obviously, the last few weeks, at least more akin to the City that we knew prior to their woes this season. Villa to beat Fulham. I think they're going to stamp their authority, solidify the fact that Fulham won't be involved in that European conversation unless somebody wins a tournament. And make sure that they have the only route in left. Everton to beat Ipswich. I think that Ipswich are hurting. I think you all are playing pretty well still.
It's at Goodison. It's the second to last. Everton's winning that game.
Yeah. Leicester versus Southampton. I'm not picking a result. I'm picking over 2.5 goals. I personally, and I'll back Taylor up with this, I'll throw a shot of Malort on it. Vardy scores.
Vardy scores. Okay.
It's too far in advance that I couldn't pick Vardy to score on the bet, or I would have.
Right.
So since he did that, I'll throw a shot of Malort on it also. I have Vardy to score at any time in that game, although it's not part of my actual bet. But I think this is both clubs here are viewing this as their last opportunity to entertain their fans, and they both suck.
Yeah.
So over 2.5.
Very good. Love it.
And then Arsenal to beat Bournemouth. They still haven't been super impressive.
No.
In any way, shape, or form. They're going to be without their best forward in Evan Nilsson. And the only other thing about that game that we didn't talk about was what a brilliant piece of invention from Evan Nilsson to flick the ball to Semenyo, and a great piece of restraint from Kluivert. Because he was running onto that ball with his right foot. He was shaping to shoot, and he saw Semenyo with the better angle and stopped his own run. Very unselfish, but that flick from Evan Nilsson was absolutely fantastic for the opening goal. Anyway, Arsenal to beat Bournemouth. That all brings me my odds greatly increased with the over 2.5 Leicester versus Southampton.
Of course.
It's plus 1509.
Because note, Leicester has not scored in their building in 9 fucking matches.
I think they're going to do it, though. I really do.
That is going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yes, we have a team of cunts.
Oh, yes, we do.
Lots of cunts.
Oh, not the coach. He's beautiful and amazing with a fucking fabulous eyebrow. But the rest of them kind of cunting.
Yeah. So it all started a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So let's start at the beginning of the week. last week, and Real Madrid, the evil empire, releasing statements on their personal own, kind of like Man U TV. They have Real Madrid TV,
right,
in Spain, and on their own TV channel, they were mulling over the appointment of this particular referee to the Copa del Rey final on Sunday. They were very upset. They had branded this referee of insufficient experience and this, that, the other, like all of these sorts of wild claims against this guy.
Right.
And how he's biased and he doesn't, favor Madrid in any circumstance and all this stuff. To the point where referees in Spain sometimes give press conferences, not terribly often, but sometimes. He gave a quite emotional one prior to the game that said, please stay calm and trust that my employer knows that what I'm doing, knows that I know what I'm doing and I am impartial, because my son's being bullied at school.
Yeah.
Essentially. Because Real Madrid are saying this about me, all of the Real Madrid Litlands at school are bullying my son, talking shit about me, and gave a quite an emotional thing about it.
Yeah, go ahead and bully me, but don't
leave my kid out of it.
Leave my fucking kid out of it,
well,
man.
the club didn't do that, to be fair to them. They did a lot of other bad shit, which after what happened, they then doubled down. Real Madrid go on to lose the game 3-2 against Barcelona. Obviously, their arch enemy.
Looking like they're not going to win a single trophy
this year. Exactly right, because they look like their league's just about out of touch. And they finished the game with 11 men, both teams. There were 3 Real Madrid red cards at the final whistle.
Jesus.
Antonio Rudiger, formerly of Chelsea, the rumor is that he'll be seeing a double-digit ban for his crazy outburst, quote unquote. This comes from Goal.com in an article. Rudiger was sent off after Real Madrid's defeat to Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final as he protested a decision right at the end of the game. Such was his rage, he threw ice. He attempted to throw ice at the referee and had to be forcibly restrained by his teammates.
Jesus.
Now,
Sorry, Ross.
Lothar Matthäus, Rudiger's countryman, has urged La Liga to hand the defender a lengthy ban. So a former German defender has gone against his own
countryman, yeah.
He believes that Rudiger should be grateful if he receives anything close to a 4-week suspension, but is anticipating double digits. That came after. It was basically escalating pieces of shit from this game, and the red cards went to Jude Bellingham as well in that game, and I'm trying to find out who the third was because I didn't look, but it was just absolutely abhorrent behavior from the entire team.
And it was all after the whistle had blown, after the match was over.
Exactly right. It was all after the whistle had blown, and the club then doubled down on the shit they were talking at the beginning of the week. Basically saying that the referee had it out from us from the start, that it was all this kind of stuff, and I'm sure the kid's gonna get bullied again. It was Lucas Vasquez who was not on the pitch when it happened, and Antonio Rudiger was not on the pitch when it happened. He actually was the first one, so it de-escalated from there.
Wow.
From throwing of the ice. But Jude Bellingham was the last one listed here to get his red, and I'm not really sure what those two did because Rudiger's was bad enough it dominated every article I read. But the club then doubled down and went full Darth Vader. It's just this referee has it out for us. It just kept going. It's like, what are you doing?
Boo-hoo, the team that wins something all the time every fucking year, right? The team that has more Champions Leagues than anybody in history, or European titles of anyone in history.
13 of them.
Boo fucking who?
Yeah.
And here's the Ancelotti's probably getting fired, right? And all Ancelotti has done since he's come back is, I don't know, win them 2 fucking more Champions Leagues and win them a couple of fucking league titles.
Right.
And that their fan base, their players, and hell, even the ownership are so fucking petulant that they just believe things should be handed to them because they deserve it, because they are who they are, and the patch on their chest means more than anything else.
Right.
It's deplorable. It's fucking deplorable. Win with grace, lose with even more grace. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It may be difficult in the moment. You might be really worked up because we've been in our stupid little beer league and been real pissed off at the end. But you got fucking be a fucking human being. Like, don't fucking bully a kid's a ref's son. Like,
the European Cup has been going since the 50s. Real Madrid have won it 13 times more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Great. You still have won it less often, ever.
Right.
Like 13 out of 70.
It's not owed to you.
You don't own it. It ain't yours. That's the beauty of sports.
Right.
The sense of entitlement, the propaganda, the undermining of the process, the everything about it actually seems quite familiar, to be honest. I don't know why I'm so upset about it. As an American.
Yeah.
Doesn't make them any less of a cunt, though.
Nope, does not. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up. Next up is DU Does EFL, which we, by the way, we are going to continue to stream live because there is a lot to talk about. We are
especially the FA Cup stuff. I cannot wait.
But even before that, we are coming into the final week of the season, and it is who's going up, who's making the playoffs, who's going down, and there are so many fucking scenarios. I spent a ton of time writing this show, so that should be really fun.
Do we have to talk about Leeds at all?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll come back from the cigarette then. Good. All right.
Then after that, it's going to be injury time, where we talk about the beers we were drinking. A very brief check-in on fantasy, because fantasy is not done yet. Check in on our adopted club, and of course, preview the weekend's action. Should you want to support the show, Mr. Graham, how do you go about doing it?
It's very easy, actually. Patreon.com/Steve Football Show to sign up to that $1 $5 tier, and you get all the extra content at all. If you want to have an opinion, it's $7.50. If you want to call in week in and week out, it's $15.
I was just about to say, all you assholes, if you suddenly give $7.50 and expect to be on the show, you're not. You have to make sure you talk to Houston in a moment of blind stinking drunkenness for 2 hours, and then suddenly you're on the show.
Listen, don't give us any extra money, Taylor. I'm just fucking with you. And no, you cannot be on the show for an extra $15. Nobody, don't do that. I mean, give it to us if you think we deserve it, but you ain't stop calling in.
Till next week, everybody.
Good night.
You're live, at least vocally, but I got to go into the EFL.
Hi, vocally live.
There we go.
We're back.
I had to change the background to the EFL background. I know I have a countdown for EFL that I didn't do. Here, I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Shh. Countdown. 14, 13, 12,
Starts at 14, by the way.
I like that. She's
9,
as she whispers the countdown.
6, 5, 4.
I still don't understand why it starts at 14.
Hey guys, you're
Hi,
live
we're
on
back.
the internet.
So stupid.
All right, let's do an EFL show here,
This
kids.
is literally a show just for Shorebilly.
We need to get Mel to bed.
Sam's not getting any, don't worry.
She's gonna fall right the fuck asleep.
Shh, guys, stop.
Hi, this is Ben Kay, the Chorley FC groundsman on the Drunkard United Football Show, and you're with the gruesome twosome Sams.
Actually, the head groundskeeper of
Accrington Sam.
Accrington Stanley, who, by the way,
Who's that?
exactly, and they're also safe.
That's right. Come on. Leighton Orient of the North.
Yeah, get
love
in,
it.
boys. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Sam Houston? Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey. Sam Graham. Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL, a completely biased brief recap of the rest of English football as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, a man digging for a beer.
Hello,
Probably
hello.
forgot to bring the Brazilian beer, didn't you?
No, I did not.
You did not? You did bring it.
It's in the bag.
I love it. That's very good. My co-host, Mr. Samuel
Wow.
Graham, who I should not have doubted. How you doing, Mr. Graham?
Doing very good. This is like finding a a flare amongst all my reds.
I know. Well, I guess we're not doing.
Holy shit.
I guess we're not doing the old blueberry tart cheesecakey thing that we were supposed to do. That's in the fridge.
Oh, probably guess not.
Oh, I can do that
We
one.
can.
Mel can do that one. Very good.
Mel can do that one. Hold on, let me finish fading shit out. Now I'll go grab.
And of course, on the ones and twos,
Let's
I can't
try to-
ask her
let's-
how she's doing now. Producer Mel, how you doing?
I was going to be great in a moment, but then someone stopped me.
So,
Hey, Mel, go be
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
go be great.
Okay, which one is it? Ooh, Dream.
That's the dream. Yep.
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Very easy. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Now, note, the beers are in the next show, by the way, kids, as you're all
Yeah, we know.
frantically finding the beers and
But
everything.
I had to start drinking it in this show.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Just
going
wanted
to need
make
one
sure.
more cup, by the way.
Okay, we need one more cup. I can make that happen. We are drinking the exact same shit we drank in the last show. So, producer Mel,
Except for the beers, actually, which you would have to go to patreon.com/DU Football Show to find. Because then we have all of the different beers we've been having throughout both shows.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
Falling on the bed because I'm the best whore.
yeah, you are. Face down, ass up. Do
Come
it
on.
right, kid.
Just ready when you walk in, baby.
I love it.
Oh,
This applies for all three leagues. There's only three things we now care about: who's going up, who's going down, who's in the playoffs. That's it. We already know who the first two are going up in the championship. We talked about it last week. Playoffs have been secured by De Blades and Sunderland. Bristol could have secured it today, but got whooped by Leeds.
And shame, and no stats at halftime. Brody did very well to share that screenshot. Bristol did nothing in the first half.
They didn't manage a shot on target until extra time. That's
bad. That's a bad look.
That was 4-0. It should have been 10-0 if it wasn't for Bristol's keeper O'Leary, who was fucking standing on his head.
But it was what I was trying to say is it was 1-0 at halftime. Like they had, an opportunity to stay in the game.
Yeah, and then they just got worked. They got worked. And so the final game, the final week of the year, there's a chance of either Leeds or Burnley will win. If Leeds win, they win the league. They're first place. But here's what we need to care about. What really matters, which is the playoff spots. We have 5th place Bristol are on 67 points, and they are home to Preston North End. I did not check the goal differential for them, but apparently their goal differential went backwards to the point that now goal differential could play a factor if there's a draw for 6th place Coventry, who is sitting on 66 points and are at home to 9th place Borough in 64 with 64 points.
Yes. I think Preston North End have at least a recent abysmal away record. So I think Bristol have a good chance in that game.
I will get to Preston in a second because they're on the other end.
Right. I'm just saying.
And could get relegated, so they got something to play for.
Well, fair dues. Okay. But so do Bristol because they could fall out of the playoff spots depending how the other two results go. What I will say is I can't decide. Well, I guess go ahead and talk about 7th place Millwall first.
7th place is Millwall, who is sitting on 66 points. So 5th is Bristol, 6th is Coventry. Just outside of the playoff spots is Millwall on 66. And then in 9th place you have Borough, and I completely forgot who 8th. I'm sorry, 8th place is Borough. I said 9th, but it was a typo. They're in 8th place. Millwall is on 66 points, but a -4 goal differential. So they need to make up 4 goals, but they're going to Burnley. So even if they win,
it's going to be 1-0.
They ain't winning more than 1-0.
Right.
They're not.
And Burnley has something to play for in the sense that they could be the greatest defense of all time in English football.
And they still have a chance at the title if Leeds drops any points at all. If Leeds draws and Burnley wins, Burnley win the title.
Right.
So they have something to play for.
Yeah. So, but here's what I was going to say, because Southampton have been relegated. We have Pompey safe now, isn't it?
Pompey is safe.
So we have a definite South Coast derby next season.
Yep.
Right.
Ipswich is down, so we have a definite Old Farm.
We definitely have an Old Farm.
And both Sheffield clubs are safe, so we definitely have a fucking Sheffield derby.
Right. Obviously, Arsenal and Tottenham are both safe. We have a North London derby. Everton and Liverpool are safe. We've got a Merseyside derby. Wolves and Villa are both safe. We've got a Black Country / Midlands derby.
Blades could still go up, so maybe not a Sheffield derby. So sorry.
So, well, I don't want the Blades to come up.
No, I don't want them to either.
My point is, because I want there to be a Sheffield derby. I want to decide right now what's more important. Do we want a Tyne Weir or do we want an East London?
Oh, yeah.
Do we want Millwall to come up and just deal with the bullshit for a little bit so we get West Ham Millwall? Or do we want Allen and them to be happy and have the Mackhams come up?
I want to Tyne Weir more. I want to Tyne Weir more.
I like violence.
Like the way you say that.
I kind of think I want Millwall to come up.
Very good. I don't think it'll be Millwall ultimately. I feel like the teams above them, there's too much goal differential, and like let's say Borough beats Coventry.
The point is Mill will
let's
have
say
to win.
Borough beats Coventry, and let's say Bristol lose, right?
To give them a chance, Mill will have to win.
And they got to win by a decent amount, too.
Not necessarily, because if Bristol drop it to Preston and Borough, because it goes to what, sixth, third, fourth, fifth,
Borough
sixth?
beats Coventry, but Coventry has a better goal differential than because then both.
Doesn't matter. If Millwall wins, they go to 69 points.
They'll go to 69. Very true.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The goal difference, yes. If both draw or both whatever, the goal difference then comes into play. But the chances of that, I mean, both teams are going to be going for it. Yeah.
Is it even a question? Sure, Billy does want Millwall to come up.
Oh, he just doesn't want to even play. So that's right.
No,
well,
he does.
Oh,
he wants the Tyne-War.
No, then he wants
Sunderland to come up.
Oh, he says, I want Milky. He wants Millwall to come, or West Ham to continue to suck and get relegated.
Let them play down there.
That's what I said.
But they can't this season is the problem.
Next season. And Millwall never comes up. Millwall will never come up. They just don't.
Fair dues.
At the bottom, Cardiff are already relegated.
Which is annoying.
Or as Mel would say, regulated.
Which is annoying because you've got final game of the season. You've got
regulators.
Young Guns.
You've got Norwich's Jack Wilshere in temporary charge.
Yep.
And you've got Aaron Ramsey in temporary charge of Cardiff, his boyhood club. Obviously, there's a massive Arsenal connection there.
Yep.
I would have loved that game on Saturday to have meant something.
That would have been great.
Would have been very cool to see the two of them head off in a match that actually matters. But as it turns out, it doesn't.
Plymouth have to win at home against Leeds and reverse a negative 14 goal differential to at least catch the other 5 teams that are currently in the relegation battle. So in all likelihood, Plymouth are going down, right?
You know what I say? Mm-hmm. Get Wayne Rooney as player manager.
Yeah, let him score.
At that level, he could probably still do a job, even though he's fat as fuck.
Heard. Now, the other 5 teams that are in and around it, Hull has fallen into the final spot on 48 points, okay? And they go to already safe Pompey. 3 clubs on 49 from 21st to 19th. Luton is now currently safe. Preston, North End, and Derby. And just above all of them is Stoke on 50 points in 18th.
So there's a lot going on there. It's going to be a very interesting final day.
Very simply put, Saturday, May the 3rd, the championship is far more interesting to watch than the Premier League.
Big time.
Especially when you hear what the midday games are. I'm going to watch because my team's one of them. The 2 midday games are Everton Ipswich and Leicester Southampton. The championship is far more interesting to watch this weekend.
Let me tell you something. Saturday, May 3rd is the state competition for Tegan's History Day project with her 2 friends. They have to be at UMBC all day presenting their project. That is far more interesting than the 2 Premier League games that matter on Saturday.
No shit. On to League One. Birmingham City have officially won the league and are now being joined by Wrexham.
Come on.
They have now been promoted for the 3rd straight season.
Ipswich, eat your heart out.
Returning to the championship with a 3-0 victory at home in front of their home faithful over Charlton. Now, Stockport, Wickham, and Charlton have all secured playoff spots, leaving just 1 spot left. Right now, owned by Leyton Orient on goal differential. They're even on points with Reading at 75, but an 8-goal difference. So this is a
big difference to the O's here. It's
Orient has to drop points. That's what it really comes down to.
Yep.
They have to drop points. And here we go. Reading will be hosting Burnley, and the O's... Barnsley, I'm sorry. And the O's are going to Huddersfield Town. So there you have it. Now, Burton Albion, all the way at the bottom, is almost safe. Crowley Town has now jumped Bristol. Bristol is looking pretty much dead on to go down. There's a 3-point separation between Burton over top of both Crawley and Bristol, but it's a +12 and a +15 difference in goal differential. So pretty much Burton gets a point. Burton Albion gets a point, and they're fine. That's all they got to do.
And this is not even, because they're not going to overturn that goal difference. Neither one of them. That's why we say that goal difference is worth a point, especially at the bottom of the table.
And it's why I put that in the stack, because I knew you would say exactly that.
That goal difference is essentially worth an extra point, because even if they're 3 points ahead, is what you wrote.
Even if they lose and the
other two win, there's still only 6 points there.
Yeah.
But there has to be a 12 and a 15 goal swing.
Yeah.
So are Reading going to lose, or not Reading?
Are Burton going to lose 7-0
and y'all win 8-0? I don't think so.
No, not going to fucking happen.
Even to overturn the 12, it's not going to be 6-6, is it? Guaranteed. So that, they're all but safe. I mean, they're virtually safe. They got 2 feet still in the league and a hand on the doorknob.
League 2 finally has a couple of promoted sides.
Damn, going into the last week of the season?
Doncaster have finally done it after the roller coaster ride of these past 2 seasons, at one point being dead last, the worst team in all of professional football, to go on I think it was like a
ridiculous
18 unbeaten streak at the end of the season, to get into the playoffs, to advance to the final playoff game, to only lose on fucking penalties and not get promoted. And then this year, looking like they were out of the playoffs and then charge all the way up to the top, have a very good chance of winning the league as a whole. But good on the Dons for making that move. And they are joined, much to the chagrin of MK Dons, by Port fucking Vale.
Come on.
So now when you think of disgruntled MK Dons fans screaming about we're losing to Port fucking Vale, I'm not promoted and you didn't.
Yeah, good. And fuck MK Dons. That's awesome. I'm very happy for Port Vale.
The battle for the final promotion spot is between 3 sides. We have first, 3rd place Bradford, 75 points plus 18 goal differential, are home to Fleetwood. Goal differential is important here. 4th place, Wassel, who, by the way, still hasn't won a game because Accrington beat them this past weekend to secure fucking safety.
Who?
Accrington Stanley. Exactly. But they're on 74 points with a plus 20 goal differential, and they are at Crewe Alexandra. Then you have 5th place Notts County, 72 points, plus 20 goal differential, and they host Doncaster, and Doncaster's playing to win the fucking league.
Right.
So, that's going to be a tough one.
Yep. There's a lot going on there, because if Bradford drop points at all, that goal difference is going to be huge.
So there's still a chance Notts could get knocked out depending on 6th through 10th place, dude. This many teams are still in it, all separated by no more than 4 points, and the 4 points would be Colchester to Wimbledon, so 10th to 6th. 10th to 7th, 3 points.
Nice.
So it could, there could be that big of a swing. And those teams are in order from 6th to 10th. Wimbledon, Salford, Grimsby Town, and Grimsby Town we know from the last year, that 5-4 game where the one dude had 4 assists down the left-hand side and crosses into the middle.
Yeah, same fucking goal 4 times.
4 fucking times. And then they lost.
Right, yeah.
And then you have Chesterfield and Colchester. The most notable of all those matches is Wimbledon will be hosting Grimsby.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So
I like that.
Very
How many
fun.
games are left?
This is it this weekend. So a few teams in League One have some midweek matches, including Birmingham City, who Birmingham City could end up being at 111 points for the season if they win their last 2.
Damn. I have the question,
and then same thing in League 2. There's 4 games that still need to be made up in the middle of the week. All of them are teams that are not involved in any playoff spots or any relegation spots.
I have a question. 6th place team and the 10th place team are separated by 4 points,
Yes.
and there's one playoff spot left?
There's 2 technically, 6th and 7th, because 1, 2, and 3 get promoted. 4, 5, 6, and 7 play in the playoffs.
Oh, 1, 2, 3 get promoted.
Remember,
That's
league
that's
two,
right.
3 teams
Yeah.
4 teams go up.
4 teams go up, 3 automatic. Because I was like, then the 4-point team is dead. They're not dead.
They're not.
All
They're
right.
not dead. They could somehow end up in 7th place.
And in the playoffs.
Yep.
I got you. Yeah.
And there's a chance the team in what is it, 6th place could fall out.
Right. Yeah. Altogether.
They could lose 2 spots and completely fall out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the big one, of course, is the 2 bottom teams that will be going out of English football have been determined.
Have already been decided. Yep.
It is Carlisle United and Shrimps out for Maccabi.
Oh. One last time, boys.
One last time. There is a chance that the old Grass Eaters might be coming back up.
All right.
Yeah, they're in the playoff hunt.
No problem.
I think it's York City's definite, and then it's Barnet is definite, and then there's a couple others that are bouncing in.
Barnet, there's a tight Arsenal there.
Yep, they play each
Preseason
other
friendly every season. Preseason friendly.
Yep, they're a North London club as well. One may say North London's favorite club.
No, they
And
wouldn't.
you say that about Tranmere, so I get to say that about Barnet.
No, it's Leyton Orient.
And
It's always Leyton Orient.
let's finish, obviously, with the final thing, which is the FA Cup semifinals. First day with Palace and Villa. Like you had mentioned on the main show, there was definitely some opportunities for Villa, but it just felt like, again, Palace has had Villa's number all fucking season. They've now drew them once, and they drew them at Villa Park. They whooped them at Selhurst, and then they turn around and beat them again 3-0 at Wembley to advance to the FA Cup final.
Yeah, I really feel for Villa in this.
Mm-hmm.
They hit the post a couple of times. Dean Henderson made 2 outstanding saves. The score line flattered Palace, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Villa gave it a good go. Emi Martinez was done by Eberechi Eze and then couldn't get out of his own head, in my opinion.
That first goal, it was a very good shot from Eze, but that's when you got to get a hand on. It was just over his head. He felt like he was
Here's the problem, though.
diving to exaggeration, not necessarily to make a save.
You have to watch the replay from behind him. When that ball comes to Eze, you expect him to hit it where Rice did against Madrid in that top, our right-hand corner, goalkeeper's left.
Okay.
If you watch that replay from behind Martinez, if I saw it, you'll definitely see it. His body weight is going that way.
And then he has to shift
And then he has to
back.
try to shift back, and now he's got no power. And he can't get to it. He just cannot get to it.
Yeah.
And Eze has absolutely no right to be able to pick out the far side from the position he was in when he struck that ball.
Right.
That's what made it so brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But Martinez was starting like this, and his body weight was all fucked. He had absolutely no leap.
Got it.
When he went back.
Fair enough.
Is it a mistake? If you're being harsh, I think yes. I think it was the sheer brilliance of Eze that got that done, because there's no reason that from that position, the way his body shape was, there's no way he's going anywhere but near post.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He goes the opposite side. So once Martinez sets his feet, he's dead. That's it. But it was a great game. Actually, I think both of these were great games. The Forest.
We can go ahead and go on to Forest, because I really, it's more about talking about what we think the
whole
final's going to be.
Yeah. So, but Forest had, the middle of the game, really not much happening. you go to that last 25, 30 minutes. I mean, even to start the second half, you had Alenga almost scored his first touch.
Oh yeah,
There was
a couple times Alenga and Gibbs White should have put the ball in the back of the net.
If that chance happened 7 minutes later, and he had a couple of completed passes, a run or two under his belt, he was up to the speed of the game.
It's in the back of the net.
I think Alenga's in the back of the net. Gibbs White was just unlucky. He struck the crossbar once with a fantastic left-footed first-timer. And then the tight angle, just being a right-footed player, naturally the ball's going to be spinning left when you strike it. And that's what keeps it just on the goal line and then hits the post again.
Right.
And then you also had Forrest striking the post a third time. Now, Dean Henderson, again, in the Villa game, had to make a fair few saves. Ortega, I think, saved City's season here. That dive across the line to keep out what if I remember correctly, was a header. And it just double palm away was just absolutely fantastic.
I
save.
think what ultimately hurt Forrest was the one thing that could not happen happened, which was
City score first
and City score early,
2 minutes in,
and that changes the entire the entire.
If it happened the other way, we would have had a phenomenal game. Just end brilliant stuff.
It happens the other way. Forrest probably win.
Oh yeah. No doubt. Because Forrest had chances. That's the thing. Even 2-0 down,
completely changed the match for Forrest.
100%.
And that's where I wonder,
Matt Sells one of the saves of the season for me.
Oh my God, that was a gorgeous save.
I don't think it was a penalty.
No, agree.
His hand, he was, I think, in a natural position. Kovacic was also quite close. Came following a good Dean Henderson Matt Sells. Matt Sells save anyway.
Yeah.
Popped it up. Kovacic strikes hard, and then it hit one of the defenders. I think Milekovic or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And it hits his arm. Sells already diving.
Yeah.
His hip isn't even on the ground yet. Somehow swings his left leg and clears the ball off the line since he's falling backwards. Clears the ball off the line as he's diving the wrong direction.
Yeah.
It was like, what a fucking save that was. It was brilliant. And obviously, subsequently, City ended up scoring it, at some point. But, and getting that second. But Matt Sells played brilliantly. I thought Forrest played very, very well. I thought they were unfortunate again to give up a goal early because that does, as you say, throw the whole game plan out the water. But it was awesome. It was fucking phenomenal. I absolutely loved both of these games, to be honest. And just everybody gave it a go.
Yeah.
Everybody tried.
Everybody threw it at them.
Yeah. They ended up being quite good games, despite I know how disappointing the results can be for supporters of those clubs and everything.
Wembley can be cagey, where people are like, I don't want to fuck it up. And both teams really took it to them.
They took it seriously.
Which enjoyed quite a bit.
They took it very seriously. I immensely enjoyed both games.
Now, the final thing, and we'll wrap it up from here, is, of course, it's who do we think and who do we want to have win. As I mentioned on the main show, there are 3 potential scenarios of people who do not want Palace to win, and 2 of those scenarios are probably the same fucking club, as in only City supporters want City to win the FA Cup, period. End of discussion.
Yep.
And then only Brighton supporters want City to win the FA Cup because the last thing they could do is see Palace lift a fucking trophy. That will drive them insane. And 8th place, who will likely be Brighton, very likely, maybe Fulham, but likely Brighton, want City to win the FA Cup.
Exactly.
What do you want, Mr. Graham?
I want Palace to win it.
I am right there with you. I want Palace to win it desperately because I don't want City to be rewarded with a trophy.
No, absolutely not.
Been a bad year for them, and I don't want them to have a trophy.
They've not won a trophy in their history. Besides the playoff final.
And you know what? Ollie Glasner has a decent little team, and he's probably going to lose Eza, but he could probably keep Mateta if they're playing in Europe.
I don't know. I don't know if he loses Eza if they're playing in Europe.
If they're playing in Europe, he might stick around.
He might stick around for it.
Really, all depends on how many years of his contract he has, right?
Correct.
Because people are talking
Palace
about like
could cash in $100 million for him, they may do that.
Right. People are talking about like a player like Branthwaite, in the offseason. He got 3 years on his deal.
Oh yeah,
that contract becomes wanting to
$65 million, yeah,
easily. So same thing with Eza. It's like if he's got a lot of years on his deal, might be very expensive. And for him, he might go, "Fuck it, I want to play in Europe. I'm here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go play Europa," because that's the thing with the FA Cup. It ain't McRib. It's Europa.
That's what I'm saying. But also, if they sell him for $100 million with Europa League, they could find an apt replacement. So you just hope whatever deal gets done. I'd love to see him stay and play with them for the season in Europe.
Yeah, of course.
But if a deal gets done early enough, Palace have every opportunity. I think they'll keep Glasner at that stage, which is huge. Would be massive for them to do that.
Of course.
But I'm just bored. I'm bored of City.
Yeah.
I've been bored of City for a long time. The Jurgen Klopp was so successful as an iconic manager at Liverpool because he won everything available to Liverpool at some stage.
Right.
But he did it over the 7 years. You could take out, 2.5, 3 years of Pep's reign, and he won every trophy that they were involved in.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm just tired of them.
Yeah, fair.
I'm tired of the money. I'm tired of the charges never ending.
Right.
I'm tired of the decisions not being made. I'm over it. It's tedious, and it'd be really fucking cool to see a team that's never won anything win something. I'd like to see that in my lifetime. That'd be awesome.
And finally, just on a personal note, I would love to have Paul and Brad on our on our 20 for 20 shit show to start next year with Palace winning the trophy. Those two frenemies. Oh my God, that would be brilliant.
It would be brilliant.
Because especially the way it lines up, it's Brighton, and then normally one spot later or 2 spots later, it's Crystal Palace. So Paul will talk all of his stuff about his team and what they've done and all that good stuff. And then we'll talk about Chelsea, which will all kind of be like, it's young, hot freshness. So we like listening to him. And then it'll be Crystal Palace, and it'll just be Brad. Brad the entire time. Paul will be talking. We'll be just writing all of his comebacks.
Well, I
just ready to go.
You know what? I think for the first time in the history of the show, we go out of order. We give young hot freshness to bat cleanup and calm everything down.
Right, and just
we
let
put
those
them
two go
back to back. We'll go at the same time. Yeah, fuck it.
That, my friend, would be a parade. That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Next up is Injury Time, where we're going to preview the weekend's action. We're going to talk about the beers we were drinking and check in on our adopted club. Should you want to support the show, Mr. Graham, how do you go about doing that?
One last time, it's at DU Football Show on all the social medias, of course, where you'll find the link to patreon.com/DU Football Show, which is what I was supposed to say, but spazzed out and figured out a great link for it. Sign up to that $5 tier on Patreon, and you'll be able to get all of our extra content, including Injury Time, which Sam just talked about, and Soundcheck, which is our actual soundcheck, catching up stories from our personal lives, and you will have a great time, I guarantee it.
Well, that's fine. I also didn't give you an opportunity to actually do parting words, because I figured the parting words were, we talked about the FA Cup and we talked about the end of the EFL season. That covers it. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Watch. Make sure if you got multiple screens, be on Paramount Plus and watch the other 3 leagues. There's a lot going on, and it's going to be a lot of fun, particularly the championship. It is going to be a awesome fucking day for the championship.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. The other thing you should do is we won't have many EFL shows left, obviously, because everyone's going into their final weekend.
Just playoffs.
So the FA Cup final will be done probably on the main show to finish the season out.
Yeah, in all likelihood.
Because we usually do, I think the FA Cup final is the week after the season's over.
No, it's not. It's actually on the 17th, and that's the second to last week of the season. So that Saturday.
It's on my birthday?
The FA Cup final gets played, and on the 18th, all the rest of the games get played.
Palace could give me a birthday gift?
They could.
Little Eddie Nketiah brace late on.
Very good.
What do you think about that?
All right.
Arsenal boy doing it?
Till next week, everybody.
I like that. That's what I want for my 39th birthday.
That is